booties for black girl nerds.
Thank you. How you guys doing?
Hi.
How are you?
Man, I didn't know owning beachfront was this down and dirty. Like, this is intense. I'm gonna go to Elise and Vanessa first. Because you guys do your fair share of dramas, but I've never got to see you guys go at each other like this, which is it's just so interesting because it's fighting for both your families. But I'm curious to go to Elise first with Sydney here. The line that she delivers in the trailer, she says, "We're not neighbors, but we could just afford to stay in the same zip code."
Yes.
And so I was curious when you saw that, like when you saw Sydney for the first time, what was your first impression of her?
I actually put Sydney together. First of all, thank you. But I put Sydney together from just experiences, women that I know that are like her, and basically just entitled, wanting what she wants when she wants it type of attitude. And I just embodied that when playing her, you know. But a lot of people talk about that particular line because that is a lot of people with money that they, don't really like their neighbor, don't really care about their neighbor, but they know that they are on the same economic status. So it's like, I don't really like you, but I know you can afford what I can afford, so I'm just going to deal with it type of attitude.
Yeah, and the way you guys both deal with it, going to you, Vannessa, here, there are a lot of moments, like one line that I know Carolyn Britton delivers is that she says it's all about perception. And I'm curious what you felt, saying that line and what you think about your character, your role, and like that's this mystery that you get to play.
Well, I've had the opportunity to play strong Black women before, so it's something I'm very comfortable with. And women that have had money too. Not quite this wealthy, but I have played rich Black women before. And I'm quite comfortable with that because I'm a strong Black woman. I live and surround myself around strong Black women and strong people, and I love being Black. So all of that's very comfortable for me. So that's nothing that's not a far reach for me. And I mean, when you're playing a wealthy person, there's a lot at stake. There's a lot to gain, a lot to lose and a lot to gain. So when she says all is a perception, I mean, you can see through the BS. You can see through, when you have money like that and you're powerful like that, you're very wise because it took you a lot to get there. It didn't happen overnight and it didn't fall into your lap. So you have to give the respect to these people that first of all, they're very smart and they're very calculating. So with that said, they can see right through some BS. They know who's down for the call. They know who's down for the money. They know who's going to be their enemy. And even if you're smiling in their face and being nice, that they know that, the moment you had a knife, you would rip them apart. So that's what she means about, perception. But playing this part is, it's fun. It's a blessing. But it's not hard for me to figure out who she is.
Yeah.
I know these women. I know very wealthy women that live in the Hamptons. I have girlfriends of mine. I'm not going to drop their names, but they're very wealthy. I mean, they live like this, for real. So, and I've been in their presence, I've been in their homes, I've been in their parties, I know them, they've been in my thing. So it's real. It really exists. This is not like some fantasy. These people really exist.
Yeah, I'm that's why this show, so you're so curious about it because you want to know the story behind these women. Because yes, they do exist, and you're like, well, what do they know that I don't know? Like, what is the secret? How are they working this out? Because the real estate can be a dangerous game. You can get a lot of wealth and property as well, but you got to watch your back a lot of times too. And I like how this show kind of brings out those different aspects. And it's not just about the property though. Lamman, I want to go to you. The technology that Anthony is a part of building that company and the way he's able to use that to kind of navigate, I think is so interesting because it's not like you just peddling some pills or something like that. Like we're not talking about that kind of gangster role. You know what I mean? Like we're not talking about working the system that way, but it's tech. How was that for you? And just, and often we don't get to see a lot of Black men in those kind of tech roles and show how well the company is doing.
Absolutely. That was very important to me. That's absolutely one of the things that attracted me to Anthony. I actually myself, a lot of people probably don't know, I'm definitely a math and science geek myself. One of my degrees is in IT. I used to teach math. I was a math specialist, even though I got my master's in education. I've taught, computer languages and I've done, like, I would have been your teacher in your computer camp, or, like, I've always loved working with young people in particular. So I know who those kids are. That kid is me. I've seen what that looks like for other young minds to really be completely into, tinkering with things. So that's how I saw Anthony. I know that kid. So that really spoke to me. So that's who we're seeing now as a grown man, but he's still that kid inside. I think we're at a time now in our world where technology and technological innovation is such a significant commodity that he's in a position to be the next, like he's the young Black, he's Tony Starks, in the Avengers world.
Right.
I mean, it's that kind of potential. It's Apple, Microsoft, it's Uber. There's countless, right? This tech space is absolutely massive and it's global. So to see, and there are actually quite a few Black men and other men and women of color in that space at the top of the food chain as well, which a lot of people don't know. So it's going to be a lot of fun to share that identity with people so that they see themselves and they see other Black people and young Black men and boys, as well as young, Black women and girls in that picture. That, we're smart enough, we're savvy enough, we're inventors, we're innovators. So it definitely spoke to me personally and was, very, very intriguing for me to really kind of feed that line of thinking, that imagery, and that value when it comes to Black intellectuals and that fusion of, African-American culture and brilliance and science and technology.
And part of that too, I think lends itself to just wanting to fight for a dream and having a dream. And you get to see,
yeah. It all starts with an
Anthony,
idea.
right. And Anthony and Sydney are both fighting as a couple together for this dream. And kind of bringing Elise back in here to a little bit. I was very curious, you guys working together. How was that as far as like you showing Black love, you're showing fighting for this common goal and not chain each other down to get it? You know what I mean? It's very much like she's ready to boost them.
Yeah, that was really important for me and something that Lamman and myself talk about every day with our characters. We really wanted to show a representation of Black love that was fun, that had that people could really feel that we genuinely loved each other as a couple, not hated each other in the midst of being a couple. And we thought that was a really important message to get out there. That Black love can be beautiful. People can really have genuine love and genuine relationships. And I think that's also one of the things that people are sharing with me that they like about the Johnsons as a couple. And we think that is extremely important. There's so many messages out there about not loving each other as Black people, not loving each other as a Black couple, the fighting, the tearing each other down. But it was really important for us to make everyone be like, oh, I like them as a couple, not just the characters, but could see that we are really together as a unit, as a couple on the show. That was really important to us.
And another relationship too that I think is really cool. Speaking of love here, I got to bring in Blac Chyna here because I was so excited to see Karrin come on the scene here. The sister bond here. How was that? By the way, the nails were insane and cute. By the way, I got to point that out in this too as well.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. How was that? How was that for you? Because Karrin is trying to be there for her sister, but she also has something else she's fighting for, right? Like as we continue to go throughout and just trying to get her voice heard.
Right. So, Karrin is unapologetic. She's fashionable. She's all that. She loves her sister, but she does have a few things like up her sleeve, and I could kind of like relate to it. So I don't want to get too much.
Right. You gotta keep it a secret.
But I think the character, me and the character, we kind of like we're like one and the same kind of.
Now, I gotta ask though, because you have the artist tip though. Are you drawing like behind the scenes and everything that we just don't know yet?
No, I don't know how to draw. Please don't ever make me draw. I could do like a stick figure. That's all I could do.
You said a stick figure?
That's all I got.
I love it. Hooking up the stick figure. Vannessa, going back.
You should create a style of art with your nails.
I know.
I think you should. I don't even know how you paint with the nails, so that's just a feat in itself.
You know what's so funny? I just took my nails off so that they can breathe. I'm like, I don't even have my nails. And it's always like a topic. So I'm kind of like enjoying not having nails right now.
Fresh.
I'm like, I can like touch everything. Like this is different. Like I'm typing, doing stuff. It's fun.
Yeah, I like how you work it out. I can't wait for them to see this because I feel like Karrin's got something else she's hiding. I can't wait to figure out what it is. Vannessa, I want to go back to you for the Brittons here. How was that with this family, her being at the helm of this family? What are you excited for fans to learn about this family? Because there's so many layers to them. They own a bank. You know, the sons that she's had to raise. She kind of has the single mother image going for her right now, like something else that we don't know that's going on in the family. But I'm curious
there's
what
stuff going on.
Right. Oh yeah.
There's something about to drop that last episode, and when we come back, and I can't get that away, but yeah, you know, it's very much, they have a family, and they're established family, and I think it's great. This works for me because my girls have wealth that will be handed down to them. We have businesses here in Los Angeles and property, and we have raised our girls to understand that there's multiple streams of income that they must have. They have their professions, but they also work with the family business. We have family businesses. And it's important that kids grow up and they see what the grandfathers and the fathers and mothers have, established for them. Generational wealth is real and it's important. And you have to teach your kids about generational wealth. And that part of their responsibility is to keep it going for their family. So just like with my family, passing down generational wealth for my girls, for Carolyn, she's passing down to her sons. They must understand the responsibility that they have to be there to keep this bank going, to keep these properties going, to keep this machine going. Because if I have, you have. There's a scene coming out, one of my favorite scenes. I don't want to spoil it, but I think it's going to be the third episode, when one of my sons tries to step out. And she takes the credit cards and she takes the this and she takes the that. And he's like, what the? And she's like, yeah, it's my money.
Yeah.
I let you use my money. And he realizes that he needs to fall back in line. Mm-hmm. And she gives him a choice. You going to do this or you going to come back and do that? And he sits there and she looks at him, and I threw this line in. Yeah, I thought so. But she already knows what he's going to do. He ain't leaving that money, So it's like you gotta teach kids about the generational wealth. So yeah, I love the fact that she has sons too. Mm-hmm. I wish she had a daughter. Because it's also nice to watch a woman train another young woman to be powerful and not afraid to play in a men's world, and just to stand up to money and power that men like to exude, like they're the only ones that got it. So it would have been nice to have a daughter, but I love having the sons because she's teaching them how to man up. I mean, they are the men that they are because of her. But there's a whole lot of other stuff that you're gonna learn. So yeah.
But Vanessa, I thought you did a brilliant job in that scene with Daya. And there was an alignment there that even though you kind of, again, don't necessarily like each other, neither one of us was born Brittons. So she's a daughter-in-law, or at least ex-daughter-in-law, but there was a dynamic there that I saw some other really special things possibly happening in the future.
Because I understand, she got in there like
you got
she
a daughter.
Yeah, she got in there like she got in like I got in, but it takes a lot to stay in.
That's right. That's right.
Understand.
That's your daughter for all intents and purposes.
Oh boy. Well, I'm ready. I don't think people are ready for the rules of this world. This is about to get crazy.
A whole lot of layers.
I know.
Man, they a lot to handle, boy. These are formidable foes. That's the thing, That's what makes this a lot of fun, is that ain't nobody no slouch. None of these people are pushovers. They're smart. They don't take no mess. But again, they have humanity. They have each other's backs, especially within these families. But yeah, I mean, you got.
I think the humanity part is still out to be tested. But we know they got each other's backs when it comes to family. But the humanity for other people, we'll see how far that goes.
That's the best team ever. That is the best team ever.
No, we like Malcolm X by any means necessary.
Right.
Shoot.
You notice what she named her sons, and you notice what she named her sons too. That's
Malcolm and Martin.
That's very symbolic.
Malcolm and Martin.
Oh boy, we're not ready for it. Thank y'all so much for getting us not ready at all. But I can't wait to see how this is going down.
Hi,
How you guys
Ryan.
doing?
Amazing. How are you?
So good. I'm so excited to talk to you guys because look, like if I ever find myself like on a deserted island, like in a room closed in, I'm about to call you guys. Because I know you're gonna send somebody to come get me, give me all the tools I need. Because these shows are bananas. This is crazy.
Oh, thank you, Ryan. I appreciate that.
But I want to go, Carl, I'm going to start with you first because I feel like you got to have all these characters in your mind. It's like you're like the mastermind of these two worlds going on right now, right? I just imagine you in this little room with this like these little like tiles you moving around the characters. Can you kind of tell me like how you kind of started, going from family business, going into the Black Hamptons? Was it just all about wanting to show the world, about, Black wealth and, legacy and what that means in our community?
I can't say that I just write about Black wealth. I mean, it just happens that these two kind of collided. But I spend a lot of time right now. I'm actually in the Hamptons right now, so I do spend some time in the Hamptons. So I kind of see Black wealth, as they call it, and then the family business is a little bit different because it's kind of the background story is based on a family that I was very, very close to. One of my very good friends' mother is Chippy and his father is LC. So kind of took a little bit from each one of them and created the characters. But I always wanted to write a different type of gangster story. So in creating the family business, this is, the kind of gangster story I always wanted to see. I was a huge Godfather fan when I was a kid. And I'm probably one of the most preempted comic book fans in the country right now. So, when you combine those type of things, the family business kind of pops up.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely different kind of gangster because I've never seen it where each family member has something going on. Like they're not trying to shelter them. It's each family member can defend for themselves. And speaking of which, Nikaya, I want to go to you on this because I'm just curious. They're always talking about, like representation behind the scenes as executive producer, as a Black woman. How do you feel about, and I'm wondering if you're in the room where you have these different characters, like they're female assassins, right? They're killers, they're heads of like mob families. These women are so dynamic. Is that something you're always in the room to be a part of the conversation? Is that something you were like, okay, I need to have this in these series?
Yes, definitely. And Carl is so gracious to always allow me to put my input in because I'm always trying to clean up on this show and making sure that the women
shows.
Okay, really? Both shows.
Both shows.
That the women, that you feel their strength, that you feel their perseverance, that you feel their sexiness, that they're just dynamic, and that they're never played down or second fiddle. It's very important to me. And Trey and Carl, are always there to make sure that, they're the boss, that they're bossing up on this show. So that's very important to me.
Yeah, it's so cool. Like if you need a little kick at the end of the day, like you just bring in like a Sage or any of the Duncan women, it's just like so dope and so cool. Trey, I want to go to you two speaking about these women, and I kind of want to ask you a little bit about these fight scenes because I was like, I can't let this one slip away. Like how you're directing and putting together these scenes. One of the ones I remember from last season of Family Business, one of the cousins of the Duncan family was taken. She was kidnapped. And there was this big fight scene to kind of get her back with the Brotherhood. And I'm wondering, like, how long does that take to shoot? Like how long are those shoots? What goes into that? Because you're talking about a lot of weapons, a lot of families and stuff coming together to pull this off.
Yeah, it takes a minute. It's funny, you'll read it and then you have to shoot it. So there's so many different pieces to it. And luckily, a lot of these ladies are pretty athletic naturally too. And then you have to incorporate a stunt woman a lot of times to cheat it, a lot of times for the safety part of it. But, these things can take half a day sometimes to shoot at least. Wow. I mean, we got to move pretty fast to get through our show sometimes, but we I would say it takes about a half a day on average to shoot a lot of these action scenes. But a lot of these women are really are talent, man. They come in ready to go. Sage, everybody's jumping in. We know when we work with Javicia, they all of them, they all jump into these things when we work with them in the past. So this season, the same thing happened.
And Valerie's a dancer. So
Valerie is a dancer.
Okay.
So, there's a lot of coordination to this stuff. So it's really always exciting to do it, especially with the ladies. And when they put these outfits on, I don't know what happened. Something changes. We have to use a stunt woman. I want to do it myself. They want to get in there and it's like, you got to be careful here. But
and the men too now.
The men too. Well, yeah, the men too. But the ladies for sure. They put these bad outfits on and it's over. It's like they really become the characters for real. Yeah.
Well, speaking of the men too, I will ask you about the Duncan men here, and then I'm going to get to a little bit of the Black Hamptons here. Trey, I'll ask you a little bit about how do you coordinate? How are their scenes, and what are you saying as a director? Because they're so different and so dynamic of what they bring to the family. And I feel like the way you say how quickly you shoot in each scene, you got like 3 or 4 of them in one scene, and you're balancing out like somebody's super hyper, somebody's low key, somebody you might can't find. And I'm just wondering like what that coordination is. You know what I mean? Like as you're going through these different dynamics. I mean, because this is a boss mob family. They got to keep everything tight and in check.
Yeah. The great thing about this cast, I will say this, everybody's so super passionate about their particular place in the story that they're always sitting there rehearsing, even before before we get there, but we're on set, rehearsing the scene before we shoot it. We leave, we're setting up the shot. They're outside going through this stuff. So they're on point already. So we don't have to coordinate so much pulling everybody in, but everybody is, it's a really organic flow because everybody's so excited to get their perspective on camera and get their takes in. So everybody's like, come on, we got to go. I got to get my shot. I got to get my, hey. And I'm a collaborative director. A lot of times, I let them get in and add a little extra, something spice to what they like to do. So they know that. So they get a chance knowing, hey, I can add a little extra little something to it. They're always really kind of prepared to just jump in there. And it's always really great when you have actors who are just there for you, ready to give you 110%. And our crew, Uncast, specifically our cast is always on point with that. So
yeah, and they love the material.
Yeah.
So it makes them really go for it. They love the characters that Carl created for them. So they really go for it as well.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you that, Nikaya. That's gonna be my next question. Do they kind of come up to you and like coming into the Black Hamptons? This is so cool as well. Do they kind of come up to you like, hey, like is Vanessa like, okay, I want to put this little edge on this one scene because she goes hard, and she like, I want to give a little extra this day, and I kind of see her sitting out on her porch like this today.
Yeah. But here's the thing about Vannessa. We've known Vannessa for a long time, and she's actually a good friend as well as an iconic actress. But she definitely comes in and she's like, where's Trey? Where's Carl? I want to do this today, or I'm going to win in this scene, So we have a lot of fun. As Trey said, it's amazing when you get to work with family. And on both sets, we definitely are family. We've been together for family business. We've been together for over 5 years. And even for Black Hamptons, a lot of the people that we casted, we've known through the years and we've respected through the years. So it's more like a family. So nobody, on some sets, actors say they're not able to be free. They're having to say the and the and every line exactly like how it was written. And Carl is on set. So he's able to come in and work with Trey and tell them, okay, yes, you can go in this direction. Okay, we'll do it your way one time. And then Trey said, do it this way the next time. So we give them a lot of freedom to play. And I think that's the chemistry that people feel when they watch both shows, that these people are having a good time.
And speaking to somebody having a good time, maybe kind of sort of, I don't know, he's a little rough where you got to watch him, but we got to talk about Brother X. This character was like insane. Carl, I got to go to you first because I just want to know like the thought process, the creation of this character, like how you envisioned it coming to life. And then Trey, I got to go to you about how you did some of these scenes.
Let me tell you, when I wrote the book, I had one thing in mind. And then I met Tretch. we got to talking, and we started talking about the character. And, going back to what Nikaya said, this is one of those situations where the actor made the character himself. And we were actually planning on getting rid of Brother X in season 2. And he just keeps sticking around because he's so great. And he is really, he's made us believe he's Brother X. So, I don't want to take all the credit in this particular case because, you really have to give Tretch a lot of credit. He went, studied, molded this character to the point where we were like, okay, well, let's continue this. And then let's continue this again. And then let's continue this again. So he's he's earned his money without question. And the guy is just a phenomenal actor. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's insane. Trey, how do you even begin to shoot some of these scenes? Because let me tell you what, I don't understand how you got the Brotherhood guarding it from the front. They're inside the building as well, and he just pops up out of a closet. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. I'm like, how is he still here? How is he getting in here? And you don't want to see him have the knife with him when he's around.
Exactly. No, it's, and I always think like when you shoot things, you look at a scene and you think how you can make this as suspenseful as possible. The thing about Brother X is we do know he's always an interesting, like always on the move. You never kind of not quite know where he's coming from. We kind of created that environment with him. So a lot of times, between looking at the way the script was written and knowing it's all about the characters. It's like some characters, they're a little bit more slick in how they move, and then some people come straight at you. Brother X is a little bit of both. Brother X has a way of maneuvering. He's a smart guy. He's wise. He already's foreseeing things before even it happened. So the Brotherhood thought they were protected. He was already there before you even got there. Like he already, he was always one step ahead of everyone. So
always.
Remember he was in the
camper.
In the camper, and he saw that it was going to be there. So he already knew where it was. So in his mind, that's kind of like the setup to that. But it's always about just analyzing what happened before, how far you can go to get someone there into those positions like that, and creating a lot of the suspense. So bringing in the shots where you like go into the closet and then you say, oh, brother, he up in there. And then you see in the hallway, they over there talking, looking for him. So there's moments where you let the audience know what's going on. And then there's sometimes so there's like the suspense, and then there's the surprise where they don't know what's going on. So the surprise was, we knew what Brother X was there, but little did he know when he showed up, he thought he was about to see his wife, but he saw Curtis, you know what I'm saying? So that was the surprise, And that was a little bit of the surprise to the audience too. We're trying to somewhat make the audience think that was, he's about to get her. So
it's so well played, so smooth. I love it. But I gotta ask though, before we wrap it up, is there a female assassin, just an all-female assassin show on the works? Because I got all the creative geniuses right here. So I gotta throw out my pitch.
Oh, well, we've talked about something like that. We definitely have, Carl.
There's some ideas being thrown back and forth around. I think the things that we have in store, all the fans are going to be very, very excited for, not just in these two shows, but we've got some ideas for the future.
Well, I'm excited.
And you got to stay tuned for season 4 because, Hunty, all I can tell you is the ladies and the men are coming for you.
Ooh, this season, I saw one episode and I stopped. I was like, I can't do it because I didn't want to reveal nothing. So I kept a secret. I was like, I just really want. I don't want to say nothing.
Thank you.
Well, all I can say is my campaign this season is Free Vegas Dunk.
Yeah.
Hashtag Free Vegas
I have another one for you, but I have to tell you a little later when we get to, get on up in this season. But we got some great surprises for you guys.
Well, thank you guys so much. This was so fun. Black Hamptons, the family business. People are not ready for this show to premiere. And then the 4th season of Family Business just keeps getting crazier. I don't know how y'all do it. I don't know how you do it, but I appreciate it.
With Jesus.
Thank you guys again. I appreciate it.
better shake your booties for black girl nerds.